Hey, that'd be awesome. I really need to read this. Hello there. This is. Don't worry about this. I was finishing writing this article. That's what it is. I wasn't reading it. I mean, I'm already awesome, so I don't need that. Anyway, I want to welcome you to the Citizens Assembly. I am your chair, Marnup. That's who I am. And so, if you have any questions, you can let me know. Anything like that. What we're going to be doing is I'm just going to be going over some ordinances and going over the different forums here, just to kind of give you an overview of how the assembly works and the processes that go into it. Because I know first time I got here, I was really overwhelmed. I didn't feel like reading everything, and so I hope this makes it a little bit more simplified and easier to understand. So we'll go ahead and look at the procedures ordinance. So this was established. It just kind of talks about how we handle business that's brought up in the assembly. It could be something as just talking about how long of a debate period is the minimum, 48 hours. It talks about how if, say that I table something early and you think that it was the wrong decision, that it should have been sent to a vote, you can appeal my decision, and here's all the rules about that. It's really simple, guys. Just kind of skim through it. It's actually really important if you really want to understand how everything works. Whenever I was here, I really didn't want to read it either, but it's a part of becoming a part of the assembly. So we'll go on to the next one. This is the elections ordinance. It's for electing the chair. This happens every 45 days. My term expires, I believe, the 10th of September, if I calculated that right. And so it just talks about the nomination period. Full members are the only ones allowed to nominate and vote. It talks about tie breaking. And then if you think I am the worst chairman ever, and you think that I don't deserve anything that I do, you can have a vote of no confidence, and that'll get rid of me. So this just talks about repealing the legislation before it, etc. It's nothing that important. I'm not going to go in depth with it because you could read it. All right, here we get the membership ordinance. This just talks about there's associate membership and full membership. It just talks about both of them and how to become a member, which I'll show that forum here in a little bit after we get back to the main Citizens Assembly forum. It talks about the qualifications, and see if you're a senator, you can't have full membership, and here's the ones that can have associate: newcomers, active citizens, provisional citizens, diplomats. Associate members, they just can't vote on candidates, and they can't vote on legislation that we put up. They can discuss all they want, but they just can't. They don't have all the rights and stuff that full members do. Talks about non-members. It's pretty much just the different membership and what you can do as a member. Alright, and then here, this is just kind of thrown on the back because they noticed before that we had spelling errors or formatting errors, and that just, I guess it really irks some people. And so they wanted a way that it'd be legislatively correct for the chairman so that he could, if he sees a grammatical error, he can change it. However, if I do change something and you're like, wow, this guy, he hasn't had a second grade grammar class, that's wrong. Come on, Marnup. You're better than that. Then you can challenge my correction, and it just talks about it down here. It's pretty simple stuff, but that's pretty much what the assembly's run by, is those 4 ordinances. So we're going to go back to the main part, my favorite part. This is the main Citizens Assembly forum. It's where all the action happens, where everything that you want to see happen, it goes through, or maybe doesn't. But we have the ordinance index. That's where I just showed you. It has those 4 ordinances that you can look at anytime. They're available. The Citizens Assembly leadership. This is the place where they have the offices of Calvin and Klaus, my 2 deputies, and me there in the middle. It's like a sandwich. I don't understand why. Then the discussion forum on Senate matters, it's used so that, say you see something on the Senate forum that you're not obligated to speak there, but say you disagree with something that's going on, or you want to bring up a point that maybe they haven't thought about, you can just post it in here. Earlier they talked about cabinet nominations and the unanimous consent act. And so here's where you can go. You can check it out and just talk about stuff that's happening in the Senate. And we go on down here. This is actually pretty cool because a lot of people, especially that are on the forums, they may not have much experience with the World Assembly, or they don't really understand what goes on there. And here, um, you can go. Mouse Bumples has a great World Assembly 101 course, and it explains repeals, just pretty much anything that has to do with the World Assembly. She's got it down. She's really organized, honestly, which is great. So you guys can come here, check that out, and you can even try drafting your own World Assembly acts that Mouse Bumples might bring up on the forums at Nation States. And then the archives, that's super not important. If you really like see everything, like here's my platform, here's Calvin's platform for last election. You can see acts that have been suggested. It's really basic stuff. If you want to go through all 77 pages, be my guest. I'm not going to stop you, but I'm not going to lie to you. It'll probably get boring. But if you really want to go back and look over something that maybe was talked about before, and you're thinking about recreating or restructuring the motion and the legislation, you can be more than welcome to go back here. And then this, don't worry about that. That's just for my deputies and I. That's so that we can talk to each other without anyone seeing. Then we go down here to this lovely part. This right here is the membership administration. This is where you can go and you can request membership. But be sure that before you request membership that you are a citizen of Europia. Lethan and the other administrators, they'll process your application, and you'll see it that you are a citizen after, for me it took like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, maybe 2. It just depends on what they're doing with their lives. So just be sure you're a citizen before you apply here, but you just come in. Here's the first page listing the members. We have 31 now, which I think is great. And you can go back here and see he just asked to apply. I accepted him, easy peasy. There's not much restrictions as long as you fit into the restrictions that are in the membership ordinance. Then here, the Senate aides, they were wanting the Senate was wanting people to help them look for legislation that they can maybe do. And that's a great way to get your foot in the door if you want to be on the legislative side of government. It'll really help you get to know a lot of the senior members and really experience and be able to look through all these laws and legislation that has been passed and become more familiarized with how everything happens. This this right here I haven't really got to. Hopefully soon. My deputies and I, we've been working on it, but it's been unsteady to say the least. We've tried to find a way, because for new members, you guys don't know all of the acts or what's really hot issues right now. And so we're wanting to post things there to maybe jog your memory about maybe something that you want to write legislation about. But that'll come around eventually. As you can see, it has 0 replies. Shame on me, I know. And here is a great resource, especially for new people, from the lovely Mouse Bumples. It's a resource that tells everything about Europia, the legislature. Here it even goes in the ordinances again, the judiciary, the World Assembly, just whatever you want. This is the first place I went to figure out how to write legislation. It's a great place. Anyone who wants to check it out, I highly recommend it because it is brilliant. And then we get down here to the big chunk of what makes a Citizens Assembly what it is, and that is where the main pre-legislation and stuff goes that maybe you want to see the Senate, it be presented to the Senate. And what happens is if something does get enough support, and say that you come up with something like this one right here passed through the Citizens Assembly. See, he posted it. Try to do it in a quote because it just, honestly, I just think it looks better and it's a little bit more organized. But he just posted it here. They had discussions for a few days. And then, as you can see back here, we voted on it. And it did pass. So then I, as chairman, when then it was Augustine, presents it to the Citizens Assembly, or the Senate. My dog's freaking out right now. Present it to the Senate, and so they'll look at it and they'll have discussions on it and readings. But if you have any questions, let me know. I know that it's a lot to take in, because I think this video is actually pretty long when I was just trying to make it really short. But if you have any questions, be sure to PM me or Klaus or Calvin, because they're awesome guys. They'll be more than helpful with any questions that you have. And if you have anything that you're really bothering you, don't be afraid to ask, because I promise you I probably have the same question. It wouldn't surprise me, because that's just what happens with me, it seems like. But thank you guys, and just let me know if you need anything.